Welcome to another top 5 with Crystal 5 guys. Today we'll be looking at the top 5 Hearthstone decks after the buffs. Only 5 days have passed since the buffs hit and the meta is still pretty unstable, so if you're low on dust, it would probably be a bad idea to start crafting expensive decks right now. Lucky for you, the last 2 decks in my list are pretty cheap. The decks I'm about to show you aren't really new, but currently they're the best performing ones. Drop a like if the video helps you and subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my future videos. Also, do let me know what's your favorite deck to climb with right now and why in the comments below. I really enjoy reading them. Now, let's get into it. Right now, the best performing deck is the one that punishes the new unrefined decks and the aggro decks. I'm talking about Control Warrior, of course. This deck spiked in popularity and in win rate again, and it's on the top for Legend, as well as from ranks 5 to rank 1. I know a lot of people are not happy about it, I'm not too happy either, but it is what it is. Keep in mind that this will probably not last, because some of the new decks are actually doing pretty well against it, and after those get refined, they will probably push down Warrior to tier 2 again. Here's how the matchups look like. There isn't really enough data after the buffs hit, but we can see that the new Mech Paladin is giving it trouble. The new Freeze Mage and Pogo Rogue are also making it sweat, and Hunter is still doing well too. It says it's good against Murloc Shaman, but from experience I can tell you that is not the case. Other than that, Warrior does pretty well against the other decks, especially if you take the time to learn everything about the deck. For the mulligan, you always want to get that Towncrier, Eternium Rover, and Acolyte of Pain. If you're against a faster deck, you want to keep Warpaths, and against lower decks, Dr. Boom is a great keep too. It really comes down to knowing what to expect from your opponents, so you have to think hard what you need to keep in each matchup. If you already have the deck, you can climb some ranks with ease with Control Warrior, but be aware that some pros are saying that the deck will fall in power and that Bomb Warrior will take the spotlight again soon. So if you don't own this top tier but expensive deck, it would be best if you skip it. Next we have Murloc Shaman again. If you remember, I showed you this deck 2 weeks ago as well, and it was smashing ladder then, and after the buffs, well, it just keeps on smashing. The deck is very powerful and unique. It can play like aggro in the early game, transition to token in the mid, and can go for the value in the late, which is just amazing for a single deck. The deck remains pretty much unchanged since the last video, but you can include the buffed Stormbringer for some extra late game value instead of that Sunfury Protector, which felt weird anyway. I included a Silence over a second Bloodlust too, since there are a lot of buffed out mechs you will need to deal with, and the second Bloodlust feels a bit clunky most of the time too. Play around with that and decide for yourself though. The new Overload Shaman also looks promising, but it hasn't proven itself yet. For the matchups, we can see Token Druid is still giving it hell, and Zulok is pretty good against it too. The new Hooktusk Rogue and Token Shaman are also trouble, but other than that you should have a good time against most of the others. It's great against most hunters, so if you're sick of those, maybe you should give this deck a go. Mulligan remains the same as last time. Anglers and Tidecallers are always a keep, no matter the matchup. Tidehunters are also a safe choice. Sludge Slurper is a nice keep, but be careful playing it, because it's no fun having 1 mana on turn 2. A better idea would be to keep it for an Angler cycle instead. Overall the deck feels very consistent and fun to play, so if you have most of the cards, you might want to try it out. I don't think it will fall in power too much in the next few months, so you could say it would be a safe craft. It's a bit expensive, but you can try out the more aggro variant that cuts the late game for more steam early on. Just replace the value legendaries with some Mogolems and or some tech choices, and you should still get a good win rate. On the number 3 spot we have Mech Paladin. I did make a prediction in my last top 5 that this will be a top tier deck once the buffs hit, and it seems like that turned out to be true. The deck is pretty much the same, and it's doing great in the current meta. The buffs and the new Snip Snap legendary give it the boost it needed to be a top performing deck. For the matchups, your worst ones would be Shamans and Mages. Priest is also problematic, but you don't see too many of those anyway. Rogues could give you problems with saps and vanishes, but as long as you know what you're doing, you should be good. For the mulligan, you always keep Crystology, Galvanizer and Glowtron. Keeping Ziliax or Lightforge Blessing against faster decks is also a great idea, so you can heal for a ton, and against slower decks, keeping Kangor's army would do you wonders too. Again, this is an expensive deck, but Ziliax is a really safe craft, and you can try this deck without Tyrion, if you don't have him. Kangor's is a must, but it's a bit of a niche card to craft, but if you enjoy Paladin, I think you will be happy with it. Moving down to the class everybody loves to hate, but still plays. Hunter. No top 5 would be complete without a Hunter deck, and this time I'll feature the old Mech Hunter with the inclusion of Snip Snap. The deck is basically the same, but it's doing better than ever. Secret Hunter is also doing pretty well still, but I think it will fall in power soon. For the matchups, Mech Hunter only breaks a sweat against Shamans and maybe Token Druids, but overall any other deck should be in your favor by a little or by a lot, so you should have no problem climbing with it. For the mulligan, you want your Mecharoo, Galvanizer and maybe even Snip Snap. Upgradable Framebot and Ursatron are also not bad as long as you have something to play before them. There are a lot of minion synergies in the deck, so your mulligan should go accordingly. If you have a decent curve, you can even keep an Explodinator, but it all comes down to the matchup. Mech Hunter is on the cheaper side, and it runs only Safecraft legendaries, so if it's easy and cheap ranks you're looking for, then this should be a great craft for you, even if you're low on dust. Hunter always manages to stick around in the top tiers, and crafting Zilliax and Leroy is never a bad idea, so you can go for it. If you have Boommaster Flark, you can try him out as well. Personally, I like him in the deck, but some say that the deck runs better without him. And on the last spot, I'm placing the new Mech Token Druid. It's pretty much the same deck, but with the Mech package instead of some buffs and trends. It feels pretty strong, and adding some bombs in it makes it all that weird for the opponent. Usually you want to clear everything against the Token Druid, but with bombs on the field it gets a bit trickier. Overall, your matchups are mostly favored. Mech Pally, Zoolock and Hooktusk Rogue are problematic, but other than that you should be good, if you know what you're doing. For the mulligan, you just look for your early drops. It really helps if you're going first too, so you can take the initiative easier. All in all, this is a very cheap deck, with which you can hit high ranks, so you might want to look into it and spend some time perfecting it. It's very effective and it will probably stick around for a while too. So that's about it for this video, guys. I hope this helps you climb a lot of ranks. Let me know if I missed your favorite deck as well. Thanks for watching, I'm Chris05 and I'll see you in my next video.